Trying to write your first blog post on WordPress can be really exciting, but if you don't know how to use the software, it also can be really daunting. You're probably really excited to get started, but you'll likely have a lot of questions like what you should write your first blog post about, how to actually use the Gutenberg software, and the best ways to write a blog post. So we're going to be going over all of that in today's video. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is why your first post should not be an introductory post. It can be pretty tempting to want to start out your blog talking about yourself and what your blog is about, your goals, your dreams, aspirations, all of those different things. But the truth is, the harsh reality is, honestly, nobody cares. Nobody really cares yet, at least. A post like that should really be saved for your about page, because that is actually exactly what an about page is for. So if people do care about that stuff, they can go to your about page. So it's kind of redundant to have an introductory post while also having an about page, because like I said, they're the exact same thing. The truth is, people online are selfish, and for the most part, they only really care about themselves when they are searching things up online. So no one is going to read a blog post of you talking about yourself. And if you really think this through, how exactly would you promote this post? What would you say to get people interested in reading it? Unless you're sending this out to your friends and family, no random stranger is going to care about why your blog is there, because you probably wouldn't read that post from somebody else, so you should not be writing it either. A post like that you can't really promote on Pinterest, because what would you put on the Pinterest pin? Learn about my blog and read about it here. No one's going to click on that type of Pinterest pin. And it's also not a post that's going to rank on Google. No one's going to be searching it up. So just skip it, save that for your about page, and move into your first blog post. But with that out of the way, let's talk about what actual good topics you can write for your first blog post. Now, step one would be deciding on your niche, which I hope you've already done at this point, but if you haven't, check out this video up here for help on choosing your blog niche. Once you've done that, I would look at the niche topics you've decided on writing about, and then I would think of the biggest beginner problems that somebody would have within one of those niches. So you're really narrowing it down to be as specific as possible for your first blog post and the most beginner-friendly thing that you could think of. So for example, in my niche, that would be something like how to start a blog, how to write your first blog post, or how to grow your blog using Pinterest. Those would be maybe the first 3 blog posts that I would write. Now, of course, we're just focusing on the first one, but a good idea is to plan ahead a few posts so you know what the next one that you want to write is. So maybe planning out a month of content, and if you post 1 a week, that's 4 blog posts. That way, you can link them together and you can try to get people to binge read your content. Now, that's a little bit more of an advanced strategy, but when you are writing your blog post, you want to be able to put other links in those blog posts in order to try to get people to read more than one piece of content. Again, a little bit advanced because of the fact that this is your first blog post. You won't have anything to link to. Totally fine. But I've already done that in this video. I said, if you don't know what your niche is, check out this video to figure out your niche. That is how you get people to stay longer on your blog or your YouTube channel, binge watch your content, buy your products, all the different things that you're going to learn in the future, and obviously not for your first blog post. But just so you can get a look into the future, essentially just choose the most basic topic you can think of and write on that. Now let's go over a little bit of the technical part of blogging. So I use self-hosted WordPress and Gutenberg to write my posts and run my blog. And if you have no idea what I just said, let's go over it briefly. So when you start a blog, I recommend owning your own blog and not using a free site. There are a lot of options. So if you have Blogger, if you have Squarespace, if you have Wix, you are not going to need to know what Gutenberg is. That is WordPress exclusive. So this part will not help you, but hopefully the rest of the information still will. But I recommend, if you want to make money with your blog, using WordPress.org and getting your hosting from Bluehost. So basically that just means you are paying a hosting company to host your blog on the internet so that you can write and make money and you own your blog. There's a lot of good reasons. And if you want to learn more about how to start a blog, if you haven't even done that yet, I'll leave a link up here and down below in the description to a video explaining all of that. But once you do have WordPress.org, your self-hosted website, from there, you're going to be ready to write your first post. So let's show you how to do that. So once you log into WordPress, this is going to be your dashboard. Mine looks probably a little different than yours will if you don't have any plugins installed. So don't worry if yours looks a little bit different. But in order to write your first post, all you need to do is go over here to post and add new post. This is going to open up your new blog post. You can put your title right here and your blog post is going to be written right here. So this is essentially what Gutenberg is. You don't need to do anything to get it. There is no plugins to install. You don't need to do anything. That's just what the software is called that WordPress uses. It's free, so don't worry about anything like that. So I want to give you an example for a blog post that is already pre-written out, and I'm going to break the fourth wall a little bit here and show you guys the blog post that I've been reading from to record this video so that you can see using Gutenberg blocks for beginners. So the main thing that you need to understand when you get started with Gutenberg is it uses blocks. So every time you hit enter, it creates another block. When you go to this post, the first thing that you see if you don't have any words is type slash to choose a block. If you don't want to type slash choose a block and come up with the other options and you just want a paragraph block, you can just start typing and you can see that that slash goes away. But every time you hit enter, it creates a new block and it will tell you type slash to choose a block. So when you're ready to add more than text, you can type the slash. As you can see me in this blog post here, you can type the slash and you see what options you have. So your most common ones are going to come up, and then once you start using some, they might change a little bit. So this is what I see when I type slash, and you can see it here as well. When I type slash, these are the options. I use YouTube videos. I embed them a lot, so that one comes up. I use the sharing option a lot because when I type share, it will give me these buttons here. This is a plugin downloaded onto my site, so you probably won't see this. And then there's a few others like the ConvertKit form. If you don't have ConvertKit, you will not see this. This is my email list, so I can go over here and put in different email forms. There's a lot of different things that you can add. So you're just going to have the basic ones to start. I also have another one, which is the table of contents. There are a few different options for table of contents. I have one by Rank Math, which is a plugin, and I have an advanced table of contents that is another plugin that I downloaded, which is going to show up like this. So if I go back to this blog post, you're going to see what it actually looks like since this one doesn't have any headings. So that is what it would look like when you start putting in headings. This is all stuff you don't need to worry about. Really, these are just plugins that I've downloaded, extra things that you can use to make your blog post look better. The ones that you really want to focus on are heading, image, and list. So this one, and this one. You're also going to get a bar up top that shows different styling options. So this is your paragraph, and you can get a few different styling options here. You can choose to move the blocks. So for example, let's say you had different things of text, and maybe you want this one to go above. You can move that. You can also choose where the text is aligned. This is a plugin, don't worry about that. And then your normal styling options, bold, italic. You have to, of course, highlight them to get those. This is for the link. And then a few more different things here. This is for a plugin, so you won't see that, and you should see the rest of these. And then quite a few more options. I would not worry too much about any of these. So those are just a few of the different styling options that you have. Really, the only ones that I focus on are the bold, the italics, and the link. For some reason, underline is not an option, but if you highlight, and at least on PC, if you Control and U, it will give you the underline. I don't know if it's the same for Mac. I assume it probably is. So if you want to underline any text, you can do that. I think they probably don't have that as an option because they don't want people to confuse it for a link, because obviously links are going to be underlined. But if you want to, you can just Control and hit U, and then whatever text you have highlighted will underline. The only other box that I want to tell you about is the pattern. So I always have my affiliate disclosure, which you can see right here at the top of every single blog post. And there is a way that you can add this as a pattern, or a reusable block is what it used to be called, to make it a little bit easier to add. So for example, I want to add my affiliate disclosure in every single time. And instead of typing it out and styling it out every single time, what I do is I type in /AFF and my affiliate disclosure will come up. Now this is a pattern that I have saved, so you will not see that if you type in /AFF. So let me show you how you can make that as a pattern. I would type out my affiliate disclosure. I would link my full disclosure there just as normal. And then I have mine as align center. And then I went over here and I probably made the text small. And then you're going to go here to your options, create a pattern, and then name your pattern. So I named mine affiliate disclosure, and then I synced it. So that basically means if I were to make changes to this one right here, all of the previous blog posts that have this specific pattern will change with it. So that way, when you save it and you put it as a pattern, I'm not going to do that obviously because I already have mine as a pattern. That way you can type /AFF or whatever you've named your pattern, and it will automatically pop up to show the same. So that way you don't have to copy, paste it to every blog post, and you don't have to grab the link. It is just right there, /AFF or whatever you named it, and it will show up. This just makes it a lot easier to put in something that you're gonna be typing a lot. The other one that you're gonna use a lot is /list. So this is just gonna be your standard bullet point list. I use this one a lot as well. And those are really the only Gutenberg blocks that you need to be worried about. You don't have to worry about being perfect when you write your first blog post. Your first blog post is not going to be perfect. In fact, your first 10 to 20 blog posts are probably not going to be perfect. I find it pretty hard to make a perfect blog post because what does a perfect blog post really mean? I'm not sure that at this point, with over 100 blog posts under my belt, that I have ever written a perfect blog post. But that doesn't mean that I have stopped writing. And it doesn't mean that I haven't seen success. There is no such thing as a perfect blog post, so just write the post anyway. Plus, the good news is you can always edit it later. So just start writing and then you can worry about the rest later. One important thing that you do want to focus on though is working on SEO when you write your first blog post. SEO or search engine optimization is really, really important when you're writing your blog post because SEO is how people are going to find you. I find SEO to be a really, really boring research project, but it is essential in growing your blog. SEO is not only going to help you find the questions that people are asking so you can answer them, but it's how people who are asking those questions are going to find you. For example, the same thing goes for YouTube videos. You potentially found me through a keyword search, and even if that isn't the case, I might have showed up in your recommended feed, and that is because of keywords, or it might have showed up in your homepage, which is again because of keywords. So I have the Rank Math plugin downloaded on my blog. It is free. You can pay for it if you want to. I don't. It's free, and it's going to give you a new sidebar option to show you how SEO for your post is doing. So if we look back on this blog post here, you can see Rank Math right here. It's going to give you how good your SEO score is. Now, as you can see, there are some errors here. I don't go for a perfect SEO score. It is pretty much impossible to go for a perfect SEO score. And the thing is, this is not a perfect plugin. It can only give you a good SEO score based on the keyword that you give it. So I gave this one, write your first blog post as a keyword. Is that a good keyword to rank for? Rank Math does not know. It's not going to tell you if you chose a good keyword or not. It's just going to tell you that you have done a good job with this keyword in terms of putting it into your blog post. So for example, you're using the focus keyword in the SEO title. So that's right there. So it's telling me good job. It is inside the meta description. So that is going here to edit snippet and putting it in the description. This is what shows up on Google. The focus keyword is used in the URL. It appears in the first 10% of the content. The focus keyword was found in the content, and then it's telling you the content was this many words long, so good job. At least it will for me. That's obviously gonna be different depending on the length of the post. So it's not telling me, good job, this is a great keyword that people are searching for. So you still have to do the previous keyword research to make sure that you're even choosing a good keyword to begin with. And then when you plug it in, Rank Math will tell you that you've done a good job with it or not. So if you are looking to do keyword research, a tool that I recommend is Key Search. That's what I was using for a long time to get my keywords. I'll leave a link to it down below in the description. It is a paid tool, but if you're trying to rank on Google, it's good to know that the keywords that you're actually using in your blog post is worth ranking for. Otherwise, you're kind of wasting your time. There are a few other things here. I don't have any outbound links in this blog post yet. This video will be linked once it's done. So there will be an outbound link at some point. And then use Content AI to optimize the post. You're never going to get that one unless you pay for it because I'm pretty sure that's a paid tool. So I completely ignore that. My title doesn't contain a positive or negative sentiment word. Not really the biggest deal in the world. And your SEO title doesn't contain a number. Again, not really a concern. Not every single one of your titles is going to have that. And then the last thing is you don't seem to be using a table of contents plugin, which is a lie because as you can see right there, table of contents is there. So sometimes it's not perfect. Like I said, you have to make sure to do your own due diligence, but this is a good tool to use in tandem with Key Search, which like I said, I'll link down below in the description if you want to check that out. And this is going to keep you on track to do the best you can with SEO. So let's talk a little bit about how to structure your blog post and use all the things that I just showed you. The structure of the blog post is going to matter because it's what's going to keep people reading. And if you're a bit all over the place, you have no headings, you have no SEO, you're writing in big paragraphs, people are going to leave because they don't want to read a blog post that is structured poorly. And also, if you don't have any other links or products to sell or email signups or anything like that, you're not really going to get very far with your blog because you won't be making money, you won't be collecting email lists, and you won't be building an audience. So let's cover the basics. I'm going to give you just a big list of things. It's probably going to be a little confusing. So if you want the full list, check out the link down below in the description. I got a free mini ebook for you with a checklist so that you can write every single blog post with ease and you don't have to try and remember everything that I'm about to tell you. But the things that you do need are a strong headline that is going to capture attention and drive clicks. You're going to need an intro that captures attention and gives a brief context of the post. You want a pin graphic so that people can pin it. You want to have some headers that organize the main points. You want to have the body where the actual copy of the blog post is written. You can have potentially, if you want, not every blog post needs it, but I tend to use it every time, bullet points so that you can break up the post a little bit. You can emphasize some points. You want to have any images that enhances the blog post if they are needed. You want to have internal or external links that you can give the reader extra resources, like we saw is recommended in Rank Math, having internal, which means you link to a blog post, or external, which means you link outside of your blog. Those are good to have in your blog post. Maybe you have a freebie with an email sign up like I do down below in the description of this video. I have a freebie sign up for a mini ebook about how to write an amazing blog post where all of this information lives, plus a little bit more. If you have a relevant one, sometimes you don't have a relevant one. I try to put one in every single blog post anyway to get people onto my email list. But if you don't have one, I mean, it is what it is. And then product links to make some money blogging. Then you want an outro that summarizes the post, and then a call to action that tells the reader what to do next. So maybe they're going to be reading a blog post, sharing the post, signing up for your email list, etc. Now that is a lot, like I said. So definitely make sure to check out the free ebook and the checklist that you can use down below in the description for every single one of your blog posts. And we are just talking about your first blog post here. So if I look at this list in front of me, there are a lot of things that you do not need. You're probably not going to have any internal or external links because it's going to be your first post. You're probably not going to have a freebie email sign up. It might be a good idea to get one started right off the bat to collect as many of those emails as possible. But if you don't have one, it's not a big deal. Product links. If you don't have products right now, if you don't have affiliate links, it's your first blog post. Like I said, you can always edit, add them later. So you probably don't need that either. What you really need is the strong headline, the strong intro, the body paragraph. You want it to be structured properly with headings, maybe some bullet points, and then a strong outro. That is still a lot, which is why I made the free ebook to explain everything in a lot more detail and show you physically the checklist that you're going to need for every single blog post. So make sure to get that down below in the description. And if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel down below for more videos just like this. Bye.